What's up, YouTube? It's Tobie for TeamS2N out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, here to give y'all my Neo Nectar deck profile. I've been playing Pale Moons, as y'all know, but it's time for Nectars to whoop some ass. All right. My starter is Elmi. Good generation break. Generation break, put her into the soul, choose a unit, grade 2 or higher, clone it, bring out that copy. At the end of the turn, that copy ends up coming back. I like this a lot more than the grade 3 searcher, and even more than any of the other ones, just because this helps out with the bloom mechanic. All right. Grade 3s. Super sexy Ahsha went into a case with the group, ended up getting my Ahsha. If anybody out there in the YouTube community has like 3 more of this sexy thing, I will gladly trade you. I'm actually possibly getting rid of my next stage deck because me and Gears, we not too cool, but I run 4 Ahsha. Ahsha is the break stride. When you stride over her, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your units, clone a copy of it, bring it out, it gets plus 2,000. Her generation break 2 is while the card is face up, if there's 2 or more cards with the same name on the board, they get plus 5k. Next, I run 4 Anus, or I like to call her Anus just cause this what I does. She's one of the bloom abilities. Really freaking good card. Great for tutoring, great for going against decks that counter this deck that have a lot of field control and everything. So basically, you know, stuff goes back to your hand. Her abilities, when she's placed on Vanguard circle, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, look at the top 5 for a card with bloom, add it to your hand, shuffle the rest back. Her rear guard ability is bloom ability. The way bloom works is if you place one on the board and then you place another card of the same name after the card is already on there, it procs bloom. It's kind of like anybody who plays Bermudas. It's the whole entire harmony ability. You got to have one on the field before you can play something to proc the ability. At the end of the turn that this card hit bloom, you can choose to put itself to the bottom of the deck, look at the top 5, get a card with bloom, add it to your hand, shuffle it back. Now, if you place 4 of these on the board, all 4 get the ability because all of the blooms target up to 5 copies with the same name. Really freaking amazing card. So if you play it on Vanguard, you get something. You play it on Rearguard, you get something. It's really sexy. Grade 2s. Grade 2s, I run 3 of the Ahsha Glimmer Breath clone. When it's placed on rear guard, generation break, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose one of your rear guards, clone it. When you clone it, bring something out. If you bring something out with her ability, she gets plus 2, so it becomes an 11k. She helps enable a lot of your bloom plays. Say I decided to bring Enos out and I play this. When Enos is on the board, I can automatically clone another Enos, proc the bloom, resolve ability. So I can have this up front as an interceptor or bring the other Enos up if I wanted to make a few other plays. 4 green shot elf. Also bloom ability. Blooms, like I said, you place another copy when one's already on the board. Choose up to 5 copies with the same name. Ability procs. Hers is when she blooms, she gives up to 5 copies plus 2,000 and the ability to boost. One of the crazy things about her is you place one on the board and then place another one, it blooms. When this blooms, this one procs, gives it bloom, plus 2, plus 2, you play another one. These 2 proc, plus 2, plus 2, place another one, so forth. So, once again, if you play this one, place this, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose this, clone this, bring it out anywhere on the board, basically, because it's going to be able to boost regardless of where it is, because the bloomer proc, both of these become 11k boosters or 11k attackers. So, and this becomes a 22 line, just having those for counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Really good setups. Also, I run 4 Thurias. Thuria is actually a really good card. At first, I thought I was iffy on her. I didn't think she was going to be that good, but her ability is when she's placed, she basically clones anything on the field. She clones the name. So she got to tell everybody out here, because everybody keeps making this mistake. When she comes out, she chooses a unit on the field, gains that name. She gains the name. So she still has her original name, the Thuria name, and she gets whatever other name she decides to clone. So she basically has 2 of the names. So when you go into some of your combos, you can choose her as a target if you needed to get the other name. She's really good. Say green shot hits, play Thuria, blooms, get that green shot goes off and everything. It enables a lot of your combos. She's really good. And then her other ability is at the beginning of your main phase. If she's on the board, if you have a copy of a card that's in your drop zone, so Thuria and any other card that she cloned the name for, put that card back from your drop zone into your deck, shuffle your deck, and then you can bounce her back to your hand. So you can do the whole cloning process all over again. Grade 1s, just because I don't have Maiden of Sweetberry yet, I run Pia, 2 Pias. Basically, Ahsha restricted, gotta have Ahsha generation break once per turn. You can choose 2 normal units from your drop zone, put them back into your deck. Then you can choose a unit on your field and give up to 4 copies of that name, of that unit. A unit with that name. It's so freaking confusing, damn Neo Nectars. And they basically all get +3. So if you have 2 on board, you can technically give up to 4 units +6. Katrina, Bloom card. Place another copy on the board. Procs Bloom, gives all of the copies with the same name +4K. She's really good with the Thuria, plays with the Glimmer Breath clone, plays with Stride on Ahsha, Counterblast one, set up a lot of lines. You can get really strong lines just by playing those. So she's always a really good card to throw down. Also for Stride fodders, because I want to Stride, I want to search for Ahsha because I need Ahsha on my Vanguard to resolve my Glimmer Breath clone, my Pias, and my Stride. When I get to her, she's such an amazing fucking Stride. All right. Also run the new Bloom GP guard, which basically only guards Vanguard, but I don't really care because I can clone everything, get everything back out. Basically, when it's placed on the board, ability Bloom. When it blooms, you can counterblast 1, choose up to 4 copies, up to 5 copies with the same name as this. For 1 counterblast, bounce everything back to your hand. I did actually a really good combo with this, and I'll explain that once I get to the other card. Triggers, I mean, really self-explanatory. It's a little bit different. 4 heal triggers because I want to heal, because I want to G-assist, because I want to not be a bad player. 4 of the crit triggers for Ahsha. Ahsha swings, goes into the soul, gives it +5, draws a card, adds to my soul when I need to, or just use for a 10K. Maiden of Daybreak, 4 of. Amazing card. Generation Break 1. When it's placed, auto ability, procs, choose a unit, put it back into the deck. Well, not the unit, Daybreak, so nobody gets confused. Place this, Daybreak puts herself back into the deck, chooses a unit. You can choose up to 2 units with that same name for the unit for her ability that she chose. They get +5. So if you have 1, place it, choose a unit. If you have 2 units with the same name, they both get +5. You can do that the entire time. So you're putting triggers back into your deck, and you're giving +10K on the board every single time you place her if you have 2 copies on board. It's really good. Next one, Bloom, stand trigger. I run 8 stands, 4 crit, 4 heal. I run stands because your lines get so strong, there's no reason not to run, a sufficient amount of stands. Now this is, of course, Bloom ability, choose up to 5 copies when another copy of it is placed. Her ability is, it's a 0 cost. To activate her cost, you basically say, I'm gonna activate the cost. You choose a normal unit in your drop zone. You can choose up to 4 of those units with that name, put them back into your deck, put the stand trigger back into your deck. After you do that, shuffle, draw a card. So it's good just to put stand triggers back in. So you have 2 stand triggers that puts themselves back in. If you need normal units to set up combos, those go back in so you can tutor those out. And you get to shuffle your deck just in case, you're drawing a whole bunch of crap that you don't really want to see. Keeping this stuff in the odor makes my face happy. Tobie. All right. G Guardians, new whole entire updated G zone. All right, anybody who doesn't know what G Guardians do, basically you discard a heal trigger. If both of you are at grade 3, discard the heal trigger and you can basically superior call one of these to your guard circle. I run 1 Screw You, pay the cost, bring it out, discard another card. Instead of being a 15k shield, it becomes a 25k shield because it gets an extra 10k. I run one Dismal. Dismal, when it's placed, target one of your rear guards and it can't be hit or basically touched by anything, and he has resist himself. So against the D police matchup, it's really good. Against something else that can potentially nuke your rear guards, really good too, or even, you know, nuke your guards. I run 2 of the Rain Breath Dragon. When it's placed, choose a card from your hand, call it to a rear guard circle. That card that you called gets resist. Now, this is a combo that I was talking about earlier with the grade 1s. I think I was playing South Korea. I wish we would have got that match recorded. I basically ended up discarding one to bring him out. Brought him out. The turn prior to that, I ended up having to push for a really big turn to try to get something off. So I called all my P shields out of my hand, except one, because I saw a combo I could do. So I dropped it. Then I dropped that. After I dropped that, I procced her ability. She hit, she bloomed my other 3 P shields. I counterblasted one, got my P shields back to my hand. So I had an attack for the previous turn and got my P shields back to my hand to guard myself for that turn. It was fucking dope, man. Oh, amazing. All right, I run one Sea Breeze, run a Sea Breeze just because in case I do run into the whole entire stupid ass blaster engine, or if somebody gets grade stuck, which kind of sucks. His ability, Counterblast 2. I think I've used them once. Counterblast 2, choose a card from your hand, discard it. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard, your opponent has a grade 2 Vanguard, they didn't put anything on the Vanguard circle the last turn, you can stride this unit. By being able to do that, you basically open up all of your generation break cards. You open up a lot of your combos that you otherwise couldn't pull off. Also run 4 of the base Ahsha strides, the dream spinning. Basically, her act ability is flip a copy of herself, so a persona flip. Then she gets the ability to activate once per turn, where you can activate it, choose a unit on your field. If you have 2 cards with that same name, rear guard unit, everything in front row gets +5. Then if you have 2 face up in your G zone, you can choose a unit on your side, clone it, bring it out, gets +2. She's always my first stride. She sets up your GB2 for your break stride Ahsha, and she also sets up this other beast that happens to be in here, and this is Glorious Ahsha. She's the new generation rare that came out of the last set. Her ability, she's a GB2. Her ability is activate, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, flip a unit. Now, before the G set, the Fighters Collection 16 came out, I was always just flipping multiple copies of her, so my lines were getting bigger. But now I flipped something else instead to try to set up, a later game turn depending on who I'm playing. But she flips a unit. After she flips a unit, her ability is you choose a unit on your side of the field, any unit, go through your deck, place it on the board. When you place it on the board, for every face-up copy of the original Dream Spinning that you have, the unit that you brought out, any card with that unit's name gets +5k for each face-up. So first stride, 2 are face-up. Use her ability, either flip another copy of Dream Spinning or another card. Whatever unit you bring out, any unit with that same name, they'll all get +5k for each one of these face-up. It's really strong turns. And then the next one is Verano, or as a lot of people call the booty stride, because it's out there like that. She got a donk. But the moment she's placed, you soul blast 1. You take 1 card from your hand, 1 card from your drop zone, put it back into the deck. If you paid the cost, you choose up to 2 cards from your hand, place them on the field. So it's like a little alt mile ability. Then if for every single copy of her that's face up, since she is a G flip also, every copy of her that's face up, her ability will go off where you can clone. Choose a card for each face up. So the combo that I do now is Dream Spinning first. Renoculus goes with Glorious. Glorious will flip her. And then when I do stride into her, she flips her. So once I play those 2, I can call out 2 with the 2. And the units that you call out with her ability from the deck automatically get the boost ability. So if you have a field of grade 3s and you're looking for a rush, all of them get the boost ability. So if you have Enos on board, boost ability, you get extra bloom ability. So all of those leave the board and you get to add back to your hand. So it's actually really good, really consistent. I played this against a lot of decks. I know a lot of people have talked about negative matchup being Link Jokers. It is, but you just got to know how to play against it. Hopefully me and Eugene will get a match against his Messiah, because he played against this and he saw the pain. Well, all right, that's my Neo Nectar profile. Don't forget to like, subscribe, keep up with all of our content. We got a lot coming towards y'all. And thank y'all, man.